How did my social media post get the attention of a spaceman? Well, we'll come back to that in a bit. The first time I explored my neighborhood after taking a photography course, everything had slowed down. My field of view had narrowed, not just in what I saw, but in how I saw it. Street corners became stages, doorways became choices, light splashes became revelations. My camera didn't just capture the world around me, it changed the way I moved through it. And it taught me to be able to see into the future. A couple of years ago, I signed up for a street photography class. Not to become a full-time photographer, I already had a career in writing, but because I wanted to retrain my eye after years of neglect. And also to gather the confidence to shoot strangers up close, not just on a long lens from across the street. Maybe sounds a little creepier than it actually is, but a lot of landscape and abstract photographers will know what I mean. Our teacher, Julia, led us through Los Angeles' fashion and flower districts, hustling back alleys, by the skaters hopping like fleas from the Venice Beach skate park's concrete bowls, through the tapestry of tourists and hucksters jostling along Hollywood Boulevard's Walk of Fame. She taught us to see through the crowds and spot moments of stress, of joy, of reflection. The terrifying It Clown holding a balloon as children hurried nervously by. A tanned, blonde California girl skating the bowl's rim with the joy and ease of creative flow. A jewelry store clerk staring at the diamonds she could never afford. In the beginning, my classmates and I fretted about exposures and shutter speeds. That's of course important, but beyond that is the true thrill of street photography. Waiting. Watching. Training the eye to see what was already there, but missed by most. It reminded me of editing film. The art is in what you leave out, what you choose to frame. Street photography taught me how to sit with stillness, not just visually, but emotionally. In the beginning, I tried to impose a story on a scene that I'd like to happen, but the real gold reveals itself when you start noticing the story that's actually unfolding in front of you. There's a humility in it. You're not the creator, you're the observer. And that skill translates. As a writer, I became more attuned to subtlety, to slowing down, to sit with the pause before someone speaks, to allow a quiet moment in a scene be even more impactful than the emotional climax. But while you can't impose a story on a street scene, with practice, you can learn to predict, if not a scene, then at least a moment. So how does this relate to a spaceman responding to my photographic story? Well, soon after the workshop, I wandered around my neighborhood lake, camera in hand. The sun cast a strong afternoon shadow, and there was a good mixture of birds on the land and in the water. So I watched their movement for a while and noticed their patterns. Of course, individual birds fluttered all over the place most of the time. But over time, I noticed that they all started to do the same thing. The lake has lots of walkers and sitters who feed the birds or leave scraps of food behind them. That's what all these winged wonders were ultimately looking for. And where one goes, another is sure to follow. I decided to take a shot which gave a sense of a few birds all going in the same direction to some unseen destination. And so I framed up, kept one eye on the swimming birds and another on the walkers, and after many attempts, got these two proud beauties on a quest to somewhere. One of them mid-stride, as if marching to an unseen drum. So I tied this bird anecdote to one about watching a soccer game with my sports-obsessed nephew and niece. At different occasions during the same match, one predicted a goal, the other predicted a penalty, 20 to 30 seconds before either actually happened. Being avid sports players and watchers themselves, They recognized patterns in play and could predict the expected outcome based on experience. Repetition, patterns, habits. And though I don't think we can actually predict the future, when we observe enough of how the world moves around us, we can sometimes let the world fall into our vision of the future we want. When I posted this "Can you predict the future too?" story to social media, it drew the attention of an aeronautical engineer who specializes in launch campaign planning. Yep, space launches. How on the Earth, Moon and Sun did that happen? Well, Chris told me he had Googled future and prediction, and my post came up. The importance of great headlines, people. Here's what he wrote. The pattern observations definitely resonate, as that's part of how I work mission integration from a strategic perspective. Great write-up and insight. Danged if I don't feel proud that my post about predicting the future resonated with a guy who plans space mission launches. Street photography taught me that story is everywhere, if you're willing to slow down and see it. And whether you're writing a novel or scoring a film or building a brand, creativity begins with noticing. Noticing patterns, noticing energy shifts, noticing what isn't being said. Sometimes the best way to tell better stories is to stop telling for a moment and start looking more closely at the world around you. Have you ever had a creative shift because of a camera, a sketchbook, or even a long walk? Let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear how your way of seeing has evolved. And please like, share, and subscribe. Okay, bye-bye.